sacrifice until the time I attain Nibbana. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear-struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings arisen in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now friends, let us begin our talk. I don't know whether you remember, we have been talking on the factors of enlightenment. Today I want to talk on the last of them. Last factor is the factor of enlightenment. Last factor is equanimity. Equanimity factor of enlightenment. Equanimity is the highest feeling that Buddha described. Equanimity is a most positive, peaceful, balanced state of mind. Nothing negative in that. Always it is positive. Arahants, enlightened persons, can maintain equanimity, that is a balanced state of mind. Ordinary people can have a certain degree of equanimity for a certain period of time, but they cannot maintain it all the time. The only enlightened persons like Arahant and the Buddha can maintain that. Equanimity has various types of equanimity. Equanimity of Brahmavihara, equanimity in jhana, equanimity in feelings, equanimity in the state of enlightenment, equanimity as a factor of enlightenment, and so forth. Now, its culmination, when one attains that state of equanimity, that individual's mind doesn't shake. Mind remains unshakable. That is why even in the Mangala Sutta, we hear Puttasya loka dhammehi chittang yasana kampati. The mind touched by the worldly states, gain, loss, fame, defame, happiness, unhappiness, and so forth, blame and praise, these are the worldly states. When somebody who has attained the state of enlightenment is blamed, his mind doesn't shake. It doesn't remain, the person does not become upset or disappointed. When he loses, he doesn't become disappointed, and so forth. Now, in that state, that state is so powerful that in Indriya Bhavana Sutta, in Majjhima Nikaya, last discourse, called Indriya Bhavana Sutta, the meditation on the faculties of 6 faculties. When that person attains a state of equanimity, for that person there is nothing ugly or beautiful. The person sees all of them equally, look at them equally. Where is there is one subject of meditation which is called loathsomeness of the body. Loathsomeness of the body. There are the 32 parts of the body. When somebody practicing them, that person is supposed to get rid of his or her lust, greed for the sensual pleasures. However, if somebody doesn't do it correctly, that person can fall into one of the 2 extremes. Either the person hates the body or increase the person's lust. We mentioned few examples, 2 examples to make this meaning clear. One is Venerable Sariputta's disciple who had lust. He was full of lust. So Venerable Sariputta asked him to practice mindfulness of loathsomeness of the body, 32 parts of the body. When he was practicing it, his lust increased. So he came back to Venerable Sariputta and reported that his lust does not decrease, rather it was increasing. So second time he asked him to do that. Second time he had the same results. Third time he asked him to do that. Third time he went and sat under a tree in the forest and practiced. Even the third time he could not get rid of his lust. So finally Venerable Sariputta took him to the Buddha. And the Buddha knew this person cannot focus mind on loathsomeness of the body. So Buddha immediately gave him a lotus flower, which is pleasant, beautiful, full of fragrance, fresh, water dripping, and asked him to take it and stick in the ground near a pond. So this monk took it to a pond, near a pond, stuck it in the ground, and sat watching the flower, the beauty of the flower. While he was watching the beauty of the flower, he saw some children also picked some more lotus from the lotus pond and put on the ground. And while he was focusing the beauty and smelling the fragrance, appreciating the flower slowly withered, faded away, and fell on the ground. Then immediately he understood the impermanent nature of his body, feelings, perceptions, thought, and consciousness, and attained full enlightenment. Of course, he practiced it so long that it very quickly helped him to attain liberation. Then the Buddha said, Buddha watched his mind and he said, Penupamang kayamiming viditva, nagarupamang chittamidam tapetva, yodheta maram panyayudena, jitancha rakke anivesanosya. Look at the body as a pot of clay, pot made of clay. Mind is like a city, all kind of activities going on. And then using your wisdom eye, destroy Mara, evil one. That means don't let defilements enter the mind. Using your wisdom, shun all the defilements away and keep the mind clean. And don't hold on to it. Jitancha rakke anivesanosya. Protect what you gain without clinging to it. That's a very beautiful statement. Protect what you gain without clinging to it. In order to do that, one has to have equanimity. Equanimity. In that state, this particular monk was able to maintain his equanimity. How he could do that? Because he saw everything is impermanent. When everything is impermanent, there is not one single thing one can hold on to, because that whatever he tries to hold on to also is impermanent. This is one example. Other example is that you find in both Samyutta Nikaya as well as in the Vinaya Pitaka. That is, there were monks, Buddha advised monks to practice mindfulness of the loathsomeness of the body. He appreciated the value of this practice. And after giving this instruction, Buddha left the monastery, went for his own personal retreat for 2 weeks. During his absence, one monk, who was not enlightened, of course, practicing this meditation, and he began to feel his body was so loathsome, and he felt as if a young woman who likes to maintain her beauty, just like a dead carcass or dead snakes wrapped around her neck. Like that, this monk felt so loathsome towards his own body. And he felt so unhappy, he began to hate the body. So he asked another novice, who also was not a very intelligent person. This monk asked him to take his alms bowl, his robes and razor and so forth, and cut his throat. He said that he did not want to live because the body is so ugly and so loathsome. And this monk did that, this novice did that, and after that he began to, he went from kuti to kuti asking monks whether they would like to end their lives. Some of them agreed, unenlightened person agreed, and he cut his throat. Also, according to the discourse, some monks cut others' throat and killed them, and some cut their own throat. So they committed homicide as well as suicide. And when the Buddha returned, he found these monks' number decreased. He asked Venerable Ananda what happened. Ananda also noticed this happened because he could not stop it. So he said, this is what happened. Then Buddha immediately asked Ananda to assemble the meeting, monks. They all came, and in a meeting, Buddha gave the instructions on mindfulness of breathing, meditation, Anapanasati Sutta. So, this is because of the misunderstanding of the practice of loathsomeness of the body. And one who attains that state of enlightenment, equanimity state of equanimous state of mind, that individual, when sees loathsomeness, he sees loathsomeness in loathsomeness. If he wants to see unloathsomeness in loathsomeness, he can see unloathsomeness in loathsomeness. If he wants to see loathsomeness in both loathsome and unloathsome, he can see loathsomeness in both loathsome state or unloathsome state. If he wants to see unloathsomeness of both loathsome state and unloathsome state, he can see unloathsomeness in both. That means he can watch things in the way he likes to watch, without getting involved in greed or hatred. So when one attains the equanimous state, the person remains always equanimous. That person actually is not an ordinary person who has attained full enlightenment. Now, Buddha, after giving any sermon, he immediately resorted to equanimity. Always he maintained equanimity. Even arahants always remain equanimous. The equanimity therefore is a very highly appreciated state. And equanimity also has equanimity base of variety, equanimity base of unity. What is the equanimity based on variety? That is equanimity based on eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. That means when one sees objects, the past, present, future, internal, external, gross or subtle, near or far, any object, in that object he sees only impermanence, unsatisfactoriness and selflessness in any object that he saw. Similarly, any sound he hears, he can see, experience impermanence, unsatisfactoriness and selflessness. Any taste, any smell, any touch, any mental state, mind object, has impermanence, unsatisfactoriness and selflessness as characteristics. These are called the three characteristics of existence. Everything is marked with these three characteristics of existence. Therefore, not one single object can excite this person. No excitement. Everything is equal. So, therefore there is nothing to excite. This kind of equanimity is called equanimity based on variety. And there is another equanimity called equanimity based on unity. That is, when one attains jhanas, higher level of concentration, jhana, there are four material jhanas and four what you call shanta vimukha. They are not called jhanas, but normally people call them in communications that rupa jhana and arupa jhana, material jhana and immaterial jhana. So immaterial jhana means the four state of consciousness and perception. The perception of infinity of space, perception of consciousness, perception of nothingness, perception of neither perception nor non-perception. These are called immaterial, peaceful states. They are called in Pali Santa Vimukha. Santa Vimukha, peaceful liberation of mind. In all these states, material jhanic stage and in Santa Vimukha, four immaterial states, in all of them there is one factor, one very powerful factor, that is called equanimity. And therefore, there is no difference of equanimity in one between one and the other. That equanimity is called equanimity base of unity. Now, this is the last fact of enlightenment. Now, since there are 7 factors, we mentioned 37, but all of them grouped together as 7 factors of enlightenment. Now, these 7 factors can be divided into 3. 3 of them active factors, 3 of them passive factors, 1 balancing factor. For instance, investigation, effort, and joy. These are active factors. Concentration, tranquility, and passaddhi. Tranquility, concentration, and equanimity. These are passive factors. So, when one has a factor of enlightenment, effort factor of enlightenment, virya sambojjhanga, at that time, if the effort arouses lot of energy, too much energy, then one must practice one of the passive factors, that like tranquility or equanimity, in order to balance this active factor. And the factor that control all these active and passive factors is mindfulness. Suppose you take a scale. When you take a scale, this ancient scale that has 2 baskets, and in the center there is a needle. When you put something on one basket, if the needle goes that way, you put something more into the other basket to bring the needle to the center, to balance the scale. Therefore, this balancing factor of enlightenment is mindfulness. So mindfulness is more powerful fact of enlightenment. Now, Venerable Sariputta said that just like a king or a rich person has a closet full of clothes, all kind of clothes, of various colors and texture and quality. So whenever he wants to use one of them in the morning, he picked it from the closet and put it on. When you want to use another one at noon, he picked one from the closet. Like that, anytime, if he wants to change his clothes, every hour on the hour, he would pick one from that closet, where there are so many types of clothes, suits, shirts, ties, and so on. Similarly, whenever he wanted to practice one of these 7 factors of enlightenment, he immediately picked on that and practice. So to practice these factors of enlightenment, there are qualifications. This is called Viveka Nisitang, Viraga Nisitang, Nirodha Nisitang, Vassagga Parinamin. 4 qualities. That means the mind should have the what you call seclusion. Seclusion in the mind must bend upon seclusion, to withdraw from various activities, various mundane things, various commitments. The mind should incline towards withdrawing from all these things. That's called Viveka Nisitang. And the mind should incline towards abandoning Viraga Nisitang. Viraga means not clinging. Not clinging. The mind should incline towards not clinging to anything coming through the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind, outside or inside. Third, Nirodha Nisitang. The mind should see cessation, ceasing, ending of everything, like Upada Thitibhanga, rising, existing and passing away, rising, existing and passing away. So the person should see the passing away of everything. That is third quality. Fourth quality is Vassagga Parinaming, ripening in total abandoning of greed, hatred, delusion and all these mental impurities. With these qualities at the background, or with these qualities as the foundation, when one practices these factors of enlightenment, one can master them, so that that person can pick one of these factors of enlightenment and practice it any time, day or night, in anywhere. So Venerable Sariputta is very wise, smart, and even the Buddha praised Venerable Sariputta's mastery of the factors of enlightenment. So this is something, friends, we can gradually attain. This is humanly possible, and we all must try at least to gain these states. As I mentioned at the very beginning of my talk, every time you practice mindfulness, even for 10 minutes, that goes to mindfulness, fact of enlightenment. Anytime you practice investigation, asking questions, discussing Dhamma, want to clarify your understanding of Dhamma, that goes to mindfulness, investigation, fact of enlightenment, practice. So similarly, whenever you make effort to effort to prevent various type of unwholesome mental states and overcome unwholesome mental state, allow wholesome mental state to arise and cultivate and develop. That kind of effort always, no matter how short a period you make the effort, that goes to the effort fact of enlightenment. Fact of enlightenment of effort. Then whenever you are full of joy, even for 10 minutes, through the practice, that joy has to be niramisa joy. That means not mundane joy, it is above mundane joy. That goes to the joy fact of enlightenment. Anytime you practice concentration, that goes to concentration fact. Anytime you practice equanimity, that goes to equanimity fact of enlightenment. These things you don't have to practice all together. Anytime you practice in meditation, anytime you gain this kind of experience, they go to this fact of enlightenment. Eventually all of them come together for attaining full liberation, and your factors of enlightenment will be complete, fulfilled. Now, that's all I can do today. And I'm sorry, last few weeks I could not do anything. I was sick, and that may be the reason too many people don't know that we are having this Zoom talk. So tomorrow you can ask me questions, and we try to answer your questions. So finally I want to share my metta with everybody, those who are suffering in hospitals, just like I did. I know how difficult it is, how painful it is. At one point I was thinking that I was doing a death rehearsal. That kind of pain I had. So somehow, thanks to the doctors, nurses, hospital staffs, and all of them, one of my students who was so dedicated, wonderful, like little angel, who was with me all the time, supporting me. May all of them, doctors, nurses, hospital staffs, other helpers, may all of them be free from suffering and attain liberation. All the patients who are in hospital suffering recover very quickly and practice Dhamma and attain liberation. And may all those who are supporting these projects, this institute, financially and otherwise, to maintain people's health, bring a certain degree of happiness, may they all continue their wonderful service. And all those who make decision to make people happy, countries' leaders, and so forth, all those who are suffering in various places, under various circumstances, wars and poverty, politics and this and that, may they all find peace, happiness, solace and comfort. May they all attain liberation. Thank you for coming and participating in this. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Bhante.
Bhante.
Thank you,
Everyone
Bhante.
saranai.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Everyone,
Thank you, Bhante.
Everyone,
Bhante.
there are so many. Yes.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you.
Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Mahatera Abbott, thank you so much for letting us know what happened.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care, Bhante. Wish
Thank you,
Bhante good
Bhante.
health.
Here.
Thank you. Bye.